Hi, 8th graders. Today, let's take a look in your grammar book, page 212, at compound subjects practice. A couple of reminders before we take a look at the example sentences on page 212. Whenever you're looking at compounds, you're going to have a conjunction. A conjunction joins two subjects, two verbs, to something together, and your main conjunctions that you can look for are and, or, nor, and sometimes but. Now, the rule with compounds is that compounds with the word and usually take a plural verb. So here's a compound subject. We've got students and teachers. When you've got an and here, we usually need a plural verb. So and in this case signals we need the plural verb are. Students and teachers are happy with distance learning. There are some exceptions to the rule though. Sometimes you have mac and cheese. That's kind of considered one thing. So this one thing is mac and cheese is. Same thing with a sandwich like peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and jelly with the and are considered one sandwich, one snack, one idea. So peanut butter and jelly is, not are. Same thing with the sport like track and field. Track and field kind of is together as one thing. So track and field is, not track and field are. So there are a few exceptions to the and rule. Another rule to remember in compounds, if you have the conjunction or the conjunction nor, you want to match the verb to the closest subject. So whichever subject is closest to the verb, that's what you're going to match your verb to. So here's a verb enjoy, here's a subject sisters. The reason we've got the plural verb enjoy is because this subject is sisters and that's plural. We've got the conjunction nor here. So here's how the sentence rolls. Neither Mary nor her sisters enjoy gardening. Since there's Mary, we could say Mary enjoys. But there's sisters here, and since sisters is the closest subject to the verb, we're going to match the verb to the closest subject. So sisters enjoy, not sisters enjoys. Here's another example of that right here. We've got an or, so we have to look at the two choices and match the verb to the second choice, the subject that's closest to the verb. So we've got either Coach Ostrom or Coach Peterson is opening the weight room for today. So the second choice, the second subject, the one that's closest to the verb is Coach Peterson. Coach Peterson is singular, one person, so we need the singular verb is. You probably caught that this one is singular also. Coach Ostrom is also singular. But if this were a plural subject over here, we're still going to go with a singular verb because we match to the subject that's closest to the verb. Okay, let's get started. On page 212, take a look at that. Here's number one. Psychologists, that's plural, and guidance counselors, that's plural, have linked personality types to occupations. Because there's the and, we're going to treat this as a plural subject. Psychologists and guidance counselors, plural. So we need a plural verb. The one that's given to you in your book, number one, is a plural verb, have linked. So number one is correct. Number two, for example, carpentry or engineering sometimes attract introverted people. Now we've got an or. So or means we need to make a choice. We can go with choice one, carpentry, or we can go with choice two. When you have an or, you have to match your subject, your closest subject to the verb. So engineering is the subject that's closest to the verb attract. So we would say engineering attract, but that doesn't make sense. So engineering is singular. We need the singular verb. We need to add an S to the end of that verb there. So engineering sometimes attracts is correct. Now your compound subject matches with your verb. Carpentry or engineering attracts. Number three. Paramedics and police officers seeks adventure and risk. We've got an and, so that means we've got probably a plural no matter what here. Paramedics and police officers, that together is a compound subject that's plural. These people, they seeks. Seeks does not make sense for a plural subject, so we need to take off the S. Now it's correct. Paramedics and police officers seek adventure and risk. You might notice that I have green lines here when it's wrong because my computer is smart and lets us know that it's wrong. Well, it's not now, but anyway, usually it is. Number four, on the other hand, structure and order suits those with good organizational ability. We've got a compound subject here. Structure and order. We've got an and. That means it's going to probably be plural. So these two things suits. Two things suits does not match. It doesn't agree. Structure and order is plural. We need a plural verb. So we need to change that to suit. Structure and order suit. Those with good organizational ability. Number 5, we've got an or here, I see right away. So bookkeepers or office managers typically has stable, practical personalities. Since we've got an or, we've got a choice to make. We're going to match our verb, which is has, to the closest subject. The closest subject to has is not bookkeepers, it's managers. So bookkeepers or office managers has. Managers has does not make sense. So we need to change has to have because managers matches with have. Closest subject is managers. That's got to match the verb. Number 6. Problem-solving skills and strong verbal communication is useful for judges and business people. We've got an and here, so that probably means we've got a plural subject. We've got problem-solving skills and strong verbal communication. Those are two things together. That's definitely a plural. We need to match the plural subject with a plural verb, so we're going to change that to are. Number 7. Generally, neither lawyers nor the head of a company like to be told what to do. Nor is our choice word. That's the conjunction. So that means we're going to have to match our subject, the closest subject to the verb. The verb is like. So who is it that like or likes to be told? Lawyers or not company, because company isn't a prepositional phrase there. So it's the head. Lawyers and head. Those are the two people we're talking about. So head is the subject that's closest to the verb. Lawyers is the first subject. Head is the subject closer to the verb. So head like to be told or head likes to be told. The head of a company likes to be told. That's the subject, or that's the verb we need there. We need the singular verb to match the singular subject head because of the choice conjunction nor. Number 8. Logic or good spatial perception is needed for jobs in engineering and mechanics. We got an or here. So or signifies that we have a choice to make. We're going to talk about the logic or we're going to talk about the perception. Perception is the subject that's closest to the verb, so we're going to match perception to the verb. Perception is needed or perception are needed. Perception is a singular subject, so we need the singular verb is. Number 8 is correct the way it is. Number 9, trial and error are one way to find the right job. We got an and here. And normally, and means we've got plurals. But trial and error kind of go together as one thing, just like track and field, just like mac and cheese, just like peanut butter and jelly. All of those things are one thing together. Trial and error, believe it or not, is one thing together. And you can tell my computer knows this because it's already got a green line for me. Trial and error is considered one thing. So trial and error is one way to find the right job. Is the verb we need. That's a really tricky one because and usually means plurals. But in this case, trial and error is one method. So it is one way to find the right job. Finally, number 10, neither your parents nor or your teacher nor your parents want you to see you in a job that doesn't suit you. Nor is a choice word, so we've got to match our verb to the choice of subjects that's closest to the verb. Nor is your choice, teacher is your first subject, parents is your second subject, parents is the subject that's closest to the verb. So parents want does make sense together. Parents is plural and want is a plural verb. They match together, so that sentence is correct the way it is. So that's how you run these things on page 212, the compound subjects matching to the verbs. Now it's up to you to get your turn done here and try the assignment on page 631, set 2. Good luck. Let me know if you have questions.